Hello there everybody, welcome to the newest version of SUGA, where in today's episode we are basically showing off everything that has changed since the last video, which was absolutely ages ago. As you can see, a lot of things are very different. There's bushes, there's plants, there's everything. There's a lot to go through, because a lot has changed. Except Bill. Bill is the main character, and Bill is just very happy to be alive, I think. I mean, you can't really see an awful lot of his face, he's just sort of emotionless. But we hope he's happy, because he's Bill, and if he's not happy, then that's a bit of a problem. The build system, for one, there's a lot of stuff in it. We're not going to build all those things, because we don't have enough stuff. But we have built a basic bed. As you may be able to see, all of the UI is all very different, which is brilliant because, well, we've just got better looking stuff, I suppose. This is very nice looking, and it's got more inventory slots. That's another major change, because having a distinct lack of inventory slots was always a massive inconvenience to just basically everybody. Chests exist, you can store things, or just anything really, any item possibly known to the game so far, which is a lot, because a lot of things have been added. I'm very bad at this game, despite being one of the creators of it, and so I may die at some point, but it is night, which is very good. If I press escape, there's a menu system, and I can save things, and I can scale the UI differently, and make it ridiculously sized. I can save, load, I can make a new save, but I'm not going to do that, because otherwise I'll lose this. I'll probably keep this as the sort of the display version, I suppose. As you can see, building is a lot different, because it actually works now, which is very useful really. To put it simply, floorboards exist, walls exist. I'm going to need a lot of wood to build any of this. Yes, I'm going to just sort of grab some wood and explain stuff, I suppose, because a lot's been done, as was the title of the last video, other than the slander video, of course. That's a potato plant, I believe. One of the two current crops in the game. This is toxic water, the current map boundary. If I walk into it, it will deal me damage, and I will ping off things. Which isn't very pleasant for Bill, he just wants to sort of live and exist, really. Unfortunately, we don't really acknowledge what Bill wants, because... oh well. As you can see in the top of the screen, if I press M as well, there is a map. And you can look at it and see roughly where all that stuff that I've just been building is. Which is very useful to have. Because otherwise, especially knowing me, I'd get completely lost. And I'd end up in the middle of a field somewhere. I don't want to break my own stuff. That would be a very bad idea. Obviously, I'm going to need a lot more materials to keep building this little house of mine. And as you can see by the orange bar, I will actually need to eat at some point. I currently lack food, and it is the middle of the night again. So I'm going to run back to my little half-built shack thingy. Built me some nice floorboards. So I'm going to need about 4 or 5 more logs. If I pull up C, you can see the clock. A sheep's died. Okay, that's interesting. It wasn't actually supposed to happen. But we'll ignore that. We'll probably start doing some very questionable things to all the local sheep, like you know, toxic water just sort of destroys items, which means it's greatly annoying for dumb people who like me, and drop all their items into the toxic water, and then don't understand. It breaks, I guess. Having multiple inventory slots, as you can see, very useful feature. It's very convenient as well. That shall be our nice little shack for now. It's not especially much. That's some wheat, that's some pretty nice little crop growth. It's not an awful lot. It shall have to do for now, due to the fact that I lack resources. I'm going to build this outside so I don't end up walking into it constantly, but that is a very useful tool, because that way I can actually eat the food that I've just collected, as well as crops. And that is a potato plant that looks to have been perfectly grown, which is brilliant, because that means I can actually plant them. Oh, there's 2 potato plants. I can grab multiple of them. Typically, if you collect a new item that you don't already have, it shows up in this brilliant creation known as the manual, which is a very crucial part of the game, because it's got information on everything. It's about to become night. Oh. It's about to become night, so I'm going to run away and sleep some more. But night is relatively simple. The manual contains a lot of interesting controls, but Bill doesn't understand them because he's Bill. It's got information on the basic things like our stabber, a multi-tool. It's got information on enemies, and that they do burn during the day, which is very useful. There's stuff about building, there's crafting, there's all the different materials. There's more materials, including Easterite. But we probably won't get any of that because it's incredibly rare. There's sheep, they're the current only friendly animal. There's potato plants, as we've discussed, and there's wheat plants, which are very useful. I'm gonna build this thing because I need to, because otherwise I cannot cook food, which is a problem. I've done this the wrong way around. Oh dear. Yes, I'm just Brit. I am the artist of this game so far. I'm not a very good artist at that, but I am the artist, basically, except for the other guy who is also the artist, but he doesn't want to exist really, so, you know, oh well, it's my job anyway. And as you can see, you can plant crops, and I'm going to harvest this wheat, and plant some wheat as well, because, you know, the more the merrier. Got wheat and potatoes growing, and with this wheat, if I get more of it, I can make bread, which I can eat. What I can do currently is put this meat in the fire, and as you can see, this number E has gone up by 1, which means I have 1 piece of edible food, which is very useful because if I press E, I'm slightly less hungry, which is very useful. A lot needs to be done on this save, notably. I mean, we have farming, which is very useful, but we don't actually have an awful lot of it. I don't think I can see crops on the map. I should save this, actually, that'd be a brilliant idea. Otherwise I'm going to be losing this save probably. Wool is also relatively useful. You can make beds and such out of it, but I currently lack more wool. The crops will grow over time. Very neat looking. A bit sudden, but that's no worry. I need to go grab more food, because otherwise if that bar starts decreasing I will start dying. And I'm not so sure about other people, but I don't really want to die so much. Ooh, potatoes. There's a lot of potatoes. This is very good for my growing crop industry. And there's more wool. And that means another sheep has died. Sheep are supposed to reproduce, so I hope they have. Otherwise we've got a save where there's no sheep. And having no sheep is a bit of a sad life, really. And if we can find sheep, we'll probably commit questionable acts like, you know, maybe sort of abduct them a bit. But that's no worry. As I say, this is just a sort of basic overlook video. Aha! there is a sheep, and there's a dead sheep. That's a problem. Oh, there's several sheep. This is less of a problem. There's more dead sheep. Okay, well, I mean, at least they are repopulating. There's more wheat. That's also a useful thing there. Just abandon that, don't really need that. Okay, it is also the middle of the night, so if I note that there are sheep near my house, then I will be able to determine that going home is probably a decent idea. And I can plant an infinite amount of crops so far, which is very useful, because I'll probably end up starving to death somehow otherwise. And as you can see, my crop business is booming in the background, which is very useful because it means I don't have to be so poor. This is going to look very horrible for most people who've got OCD or anything like that. I'm going to make bread. The item crafting is a bit basic at the moment, but you've got bread. Eat bread. You're no longer as hungry. I'm going to need to build some fences. That's going to be relatively important, because if I don't have fences, then I may struggle to keep sheep, and if I can't keep sheep, they may go extinct, because the sheep are not massively smart, really, which isn't a massive issue, but I mean, I'd prefer to have sheep rather than no sheep, and I do need lots of materials for this, because it is very expensive to keep sheep. I'll just generally build their enclosures. It's a slow and somewhat annoying process, really, and it takes up a lot of wood, which is difficult for me because I don't have a lot of wood. Unlike some of my other save games, I do actually have a main save game, but I'm not going to show you that, because, you know, doing this instead. A lot of this video is just going to be me sort of rambling and collecting wood, probably, and looking at sheep, which is very good because we need more sheep. Crops will just sort of naturally appear in the background, which is very nice, because it means I don't have to wander so far to collect random stuff. I'm just going to dump a bunch of wool in the middle of the forest. I'm going to run back home. I mean, wool is quite useful. Just in general, it's more useful to have wheat than not have wheat. Jesus Christ. Potato business is just expanding. Business is just absolutely booming. Where's farmland? There we are. Sorry, I'm being blind. Yes, I need to plant seeds. Oh. Oh yeah, if I stand on these, they will break, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to break my crops. I want to just massively expand. Probably waste loads of my wood building a sheep enclosure that may not even get used for much longer. But you know, that's the gate. You can open and close the gate. You can stick a sheep through the gate. The sheep has no say in this because it listens to sheep. I'm not insane. I'm completely stable. Yes, trees and rocks and stuff do just appear randomly as well. I think they grow back overnight, which is very useful because otherwise I'd run out of wood, and I need a lot of wood to continue my hopeful sheep farming industry. Which isn't going brilliantly in the sense that I don't actually have sheep at the moment. I'm starving to death. That's a problem. You can see I'm dying. That's a bit of an interesting sentence. Yeah, I'm currently starving to death. I'm gonna go emergency cook food. Okay. I'm gonna need to put some wood on that fire in a moment. But I am currently, I think, just about to be able to start building my sheep empire. I am literally one piece of wood away. That is annoying. That can and will annoy me greatly. So I need, oh, it's the middle of the night. Oh dear. That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay. I may or may not starve to death overnight. I may or may not get mugged by a bunch of zombies. I also may or may not, I was about to say, may or may not have just wandered past my house. Thankfully I haven't. I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't know whether he should be able to sleep through walls, really. But given that this is very early development, sleeping through walls isn't really a problem. What is a problem is trying to fit sheep. Oh, hello. I don't know where you came from. It's a bunch of zombies. I need to abduct this sheep, basically. That's a really terrible sentence to say. But I need to abduct these sheep. I just need to herd them into a fence. And if they die there, then I will eat them, because I have no food. He says, next to his massive booming crop empire, but we need to give this sheep a friend, obviously. We can't just abduct one sheep. There need to be several sheep. I can't actually see where all the sheep are at the minute, which is a problem. I'm gonna cook food, probably. I just realised I'm actually starving to death at the minute. Well, nearly. Which is a bit of an issue. I probably could just eat loads of these potatoes that I've just been farming. But given that I think there is a set amount of potatoes in the world, I don't want to eat all of them. Because otherwise I'll end up absolutely nothing left, and I'll probably end up, you know, dying or something. Which isn't really good for anybody, notably myself. Because if I die, this series looks a bit terrible, really, doesn't it, here? Can't win at his own game. It's about to become night, and I've only got one sheep. I should really get more sheep. Additionally, I'll stop making that poor little guy look so miserable and alone. I don't know what we'll name that sheep. We'll probably call him Timothy. Because, you know, that's a good solid sheep name. We'll ignore the fact that this is horribly constructed and that there's potatoes in the middle of the wheat farm. This is fine. This is completely fine. Good night, Timothy. You're my only friend at the minute. Oh, hello. You're not my friend. I don't like you. You can go away. Bad person. I need to find more sheep desperately. Timothy will eventually just die. And if Timothy dies without any friends, that is a great concern. Because sheep will just become extinct. And we don't want that to happen. Because if they do, then I'm just completely alone. I don't... oh god. Oh no. I'm finding the remains of sheep. Aha, a sheep. This is good. He may be miserable and, you know, all of his friends might have just died, but we have sheep. Why? Why would you pick up the wool of all things there? I don't really want wool. It's sort of a bit useless to me at the minute. I mean, you can make beds out of it, we've already got a leaf bed for now. And I do risk breaking my own floorboards to uproot the bed. This is no worry. Timothy, too, is just being a difficult sod and won't come with me. But I will abduct him, and he will just have to sort of deal with it. He can't really do anything. Because I am Bill, and I just physically overpower him. He can try and run. But he won't get very far, really. Because, as I say, I am Bill, I can physically just overpower him. Look, I mean, there's a Timothy over there. Yeah, look, go see him. You can have kids. You can be less alone. You can raise a family like most people probably would at some point in their life. Look, sheep. Reproduce. Please. What a sentence. Sheep. Reproduce, please. Ah, yes. Oh, I think I've just battered one. Oh, it's the middle of the night. I'm sorry, it's just breaking stuff. I don't have any food again. I mean, I do. I'm just not eating it. That's something that will probably keep plaguing me throughout the series. my complete inability to keep food without dying. Let's just grab all the wheat, because wheat is good. And maybe we just sort of... Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong panel. I thought I only got one bit of wheat seed. I didn't, thankfully. I've got a lot more. We're just going to start a separate row for the wheat. And then pretend like we're not just completely ignoring the fact that, you know, we've just got 2 random potato plants. This is fine. This is completely fine. We'll live with that. We'll just sort of grow more potatoes, I guess. That's a very Irish thing to do, but that's not a worry. I'm just gonna go grab more potatoes, because, you know, potatoes especially are an incredibly easy crop to keep. Which is very good for me, because I don't have as many crops as I really should. And I could just keep planting them and replanting them, rather than, you know, actually eating them. Have the sheep reproduced? Ah. They've both died. That wasn't supposed to happen. That really wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know whether there's any sheep left in the world. If sheep go extinct, then I am just completely alone. Good old random trusty plank in the middle of a forest. So I'm seeing a lot of sheep carcasses, but not a lot of sheep. It's also the middle of the night. I probably shouldn't be wandering alone in the middle of nowhere looking for a sheep. It seems they've all died. Okay, that's an issue. That's a problem for later. We'll just get more sheep from somewhere. We'll just go to sheep or else. Oh, that's because that's a stack of wool. Okay, we may be possessing the only sheep wool left in the world at the minute. And, oh, hello. Go away, please. I'm trying to make a video here. I'll just bat you away, angry person. Yeah, so I think the sheep have just gone extinct, which is a problem. I don't know whether you can actually hear the sound in game at the moment, or whether it is just me incoherently rambling to myself. But by the looks of it, sheep have died. And we're just sort of alone, which is a bit of a problem. I'm gonna keep looking for more sheep, because I don't really want to be alone. I mean, that's a bit of a problem, really. Gather some wood as well. I'm gonna probably make more stuff at some point, like expanding, well, my tiny little shack, I guess. Because otherwise, we're gonna be really depressed and sad, I guess. I mean, you can't really see emotions with Bill. He is sort of the most basic human known to man. But, you know, he probably has feelings somewhere. I mean, if you look at him, he's sort of just a bit basic. He just stares through your soul. I mean, he's Bill, you know? He could potentially be the last man on Earth. Just like Timothy and the other sheep were probably the only sheep left in the world. And then they died. And now I have no sheep. This is a great issue for generally anybody with a bit of common sense, that having sheep is pretty useful, as opposed to not having sheep. It's about to be the middle of the night. Okay. I wonder if I'll encounter a square or some more of those angry blokes that keep trying to maul me. I hope not. I've just got a stack of wood. And more wood. And more wood. That was it. I'm going to build a stone sword. Because that's a beautiful piece of work right there. If you look in the top corner, boom. Stone sword. I can swing it and stab things. Which is a really useful thing to do, I suppose. I'm going to convert the rest of these logs into planks, because I can't be bothered to make another chest. This is a really inefficient process, and I may also starve to death again, because I am still reliant on excess sheep meat. But this is fine. I'll be fine. I think that'll probably do it for today's episode, actually. I mean, we've built a shack, kidnapped 2 sheep, got a rapidly expanding potato business for no one to sell it to. We've got some wheat, but they are very, very small. We're on day 13 nearly. And I think we'll just save it there. Yeah, that's pretty much everything so far, I think. So I'll leave you with that. I might come back later. This is Brit, episode 1 of SUGA, I think. That's everything.